Hello, hello. I am Whitney Kobrin, and I am a love coach for women. I help women gain peace and clarity in their lives, reconnect with their feminine nature, and cultivate loving relationships. Last week, we talked about what is love, what's love got to do with it. We talked about the definition of love. And today, we're going to be talking about how to find love. This is a subject near and dear to my heart, as this is what I do with my time. As I help women find love. And what's funny about that is you might think that finding love is all about putting yourself out there and dating and looking for your person, but it's actually a much deeper process that starts way before you get to that point. So the first thing when you want to find love is finding yourself. And this kind of makes me laugh at first, because it's not like you're lost. I mean, you're right there. So what does it mean to find yourself? What it means is we all have these layers on top of who we really are, who we're meant to be, our essence. But on top of that, we have our conditioning, our parenting, the roles that we've taken and accepted throughout our life, limiting beliefs, fears. We've had all of these experiences that have left us with wounds, with self-defense strategies, with beliefs about who we are or who other people are or what the world is about. And all of these things, they're not you. When someone says, well, I'm just this kind of person, not necessarily. So the first thing when you want to find love is to try to dig through these layers of socialization and things that you learned throughout your childhood and adulthood, and go all the way back to who you were when you were 3 or 4 years old, running through the field barefoot, laughing, singing, dancing like nobody's watching. Who was that child before you were told to sit down and shut up, or before you were told what to do and how to do it and what was expected of you? That's what I mean by finding yourself. One of the practices to help you get there also is really getting in touch with your body, because who you are is not only your thoughts, it's your mental body, your thoughts, beliefs, also your emotional self, and your physical body, and your spiritual or energetic self. So when you're looking for yourself or looking to find yourself and find out who you really are, you want to look on all of those levels and dig through the debris and the things that don't need to be there, that aren't truly you. And then it's about recognizing the different parts of yourself. It's kind of paradoxical that the parts of our personality that we think we need to fix, things that have caused us to be vulnerable and hurt in the past, are usually the key to finding love. So I'll give you an example. Let's say if somebody is very sensitive, and in the past they've been called sensitive. Well, I'll own this example. I've been someone who's sensitive and someone who has been called sensitive, and it's caused me to get hurt when people are not in tune with that sensitivity. So I could go through life believing that my sensitivity is a weakness and toughening up. And I've been in situations where I've had to toughen up and put a facade on and a layer of protection because I didn't feel fully safe with the people I was with or within the environment I was in. But if you're looking for love and you're hiding behind walls or a facade, you won't be able to get to the deepest parts of you when love becomes possible, because you need vulnerability and acceptance to be able to have the kind of deep love bonds that we talked about in the last show. What's love got to do with it? So you want to, when you're in this process of finding yourself and preparing for having a loving relationship, you want to recognize these parts of you that are sensitive, that could lead to you getting hurt, and not look at them as your weakness, but look at them as your gifts. These are what allow you to connect with beauty and art and nature and emotions and spirituality. And these gifts are not for everybody, but these gifts are what you want to bring to the table and be honest and open about when you're in the process of dating. So finding yourself is important first. Next, you want to think about, you're not quite at the step where you're clear on what you want in a person, but the middle step in between is being clear on who you want to be in this relationship. So if you're single, instead of going through your day-to-day life as a single person, taking up the whole bed, taking up the whole closet, doing things on your own schedule all the time, never thinking about someone else, this will habituate you into that life of singledom. And it's fine if that's what you want. But if you do want to find a partner, I would recommend you start to live your life already as if you have that partner. So leave a side of the bed for them. Clear out a space in the nightstand for your potential partner. Start clearing out a space in your closet for that person. Think about waking up on a regular schedule as if you were waking up with that person. Think about the kinds of things that you would want to do if you were in a loving relationship and with a partner. Maybe have a friend that you reach out to regularly as if you were in the practice of reaching out to your loved one, your partner, before you even have them. There's this amazing, the capacity of our energy and our heart and our brain is so immense. And I know I've talked about Joe Dispenza before, and I'm a huge fan of his work. And it really shows that you can create these pathways in your brain of the future you want. So actually embodying and feeling and believing that you are in a loving relationship already will point your bow and arrow, like you want to aim it by feeling it already. And then all of a sudden you get this quantum leap of shooting off the arrow and your partner just shows up. I think that when people first hear that this topic is called How to Find Love, you might think that it would start out, oh, you can go on this website or dating site and follow these steps. And, this is what I found in my experiences. It's all about who you are and who you're showing up as. Imagine whether you're going on Match.com or you're going to a local bar or a virtual speed dating event. Imagine yourself showing up as, oh, I'm so over this. Everyone lies. Everyone's full of shit. I don't even really think that this is worth being here. How are you going to show up? How are you going to connect with people in that state? And then think about someone who's on the other end of the spectrum. Oh my God, I really hope this works. This is my last chance. If this doesn't work, I'm just giving up altogether. I really need to find someone, and I know I can, and I'm just going to do everything possible. Coming from that place of lack, of missing something, that energy just repels and pushes people away. So when you can come to this place where you are envisioning your future and feeling it and believing it and living your life as if you already have it, Imagine going to that event in that state. It's like, I don't need love. I am love. I feel love. I have love. Imagine the magnetism that that portrays. Somebody who already is love and embodies love and feels love will attract somebody who also wants to feel that with the person. um, so at that point, when you become clear on who you want to be in your relationship, then you want to get clear on what kind of partner you want to have. And this is not, I don't recommend a laundry list of things. He has to be this tall, or she has to have this color hair. You know, those are kind of superficial things that can change. But you do want to think about, who is this person? What values do they have? What do they believe in? What kind of partner are they interested in having? And how well do I match that description? Is this person into personal development? Are they growing? Are they living from a mentality of victimhood or responsibility? Are they interested in things that you're interested in? What do they like to do? Where do they like to hang out? Where do they live? What does this person's day look like? You know, you want to be really thinking about these things, because eventually, if you have this person in your life, all of these things are going to matter. You know, this person's values and beliefs and desires will matter. And then you want to imagine yourself with that person. Am I showing up as the person that I want to be? Am I proud of who I am? Am I communicating my needs effectively? These are all skills that you want to improve and practice even before you're in the relationship. And so that leads us to the part where you actually want to meet someone or attract your person. And what I recommend is casting a wide funnel and being open. A lot of people nowadays, we can't really go out to meet people in the same way that we did before COVID. Hopefully that's changing. But you want to be clear on what you want, because when you cast a wide net, so for example, I'll make analogy here. I used to work in recruiting, where we would post a job and receive a lot of applicants. And it was my job to go through them and weed out the ones that we didn't want to proceed with, and then start the interview process. Dating is somewhat similar, although we're leading with the heart instead of the mind. But in that process, you want to cast a wide net. You want to put the job out there, and you want to know, here's what I'm looking for, and here's what's not going to work, so that you don't waste your time with someone who's not going to be a fit. You know, if someone applies for a senior management job and they've only been a pizza delivery person, I'm not going to proceed with that person. If you want someone who is mature and ready to start a family, and you meet them and they're still living in their parents' basement with a part-time job, or, you know, some sort of red flag that you see, you don't want to waste your time with that. You want to move on and find someone, because that is what happens with you when you have a mentality of abundance. If you have a mentality of lack, you're going to latch on to the first person that comes along and feel like, oh my gosh, I finally caught one, and there's not that many out there, and I better hang on to this at all costs. And that's a recipe for disaster. But if you go into it with an abundance mentality of, I know that my right person is out there, I know that I'm doing everything I can to be my best version of myself, for myself to be comfortable with the idea of being in a relationship with an amazing partner. And I'm going to keep looking until I find my right person. It's this abundance mentality that allows us to attract more to us, to allow us to recognize when we do have something that we really desire. And it allows us to let go when something is not serving us. Um, there's also value in letting go of expectations. So it's sort of paradoxical here, but bear with me. So you want to picture your future and picture yourself happy, calm, at ease. um, but also to not have an expectation of the time frame or exactly what the person looks like, because expectations can lead to disappointment. And expectations are up here. They're thoughts, they're thinking about what you expect to get. When I talk about getting clear on who you are, what you want, and how you feel, it's not just a thought. It's you feel it in your body. You feel it emotionally, you feel it physically, and you feel it in your thoughts. You are thinking it, um, and you feel it in your spirit, and even your actions are in line with it. So when I'm working with women and I'm working to help them to turn their love life around and find love, I mean, I have experience as a matchmaker. And when I was working as a matchmaker, it was client shows up, matchmaker sets them up on a date. Hopefully it works out. And I just found that that was not that successful unless the person had already done a ton of self development work, was really clear on what they wanted out of the relationship, and they were really clear about who they are and what they're looking for. But a lot of people really are not as clear as they could be. So when I do this process, I go through a 5-step process where step 1 is assess. We look at where everything about that person. Who are they at their core? What is their essence? What are their survival mechanisms? What are their patterns? What are their energy patterns? So that the person can really know themselves and really start to have compassion and love for themselves. Because that's another thing. You have to be able to treat yourself the way that you want others to treat you. If your internal dialogue is, oh, you messed up again. How could you? You're so stupid. You're always failing. This is never going to work. That's when you end up with a partner who talks to you that way, or you'll end up talking to your partner that way. Either way, recipe for disaster, ending up in couples therapy, or not together. So being being able to really embody what you're looking for is part of the next step, which is to plan. So with the plan step, we set specific goals and we set intentions. And intentions are ideas that we are striving towards. You know, the word comes from the Greek word to have a belief and then to take actions towards that belief. So the intention is stronger than the goals. It's what helps you create this magnetism towards achieving what you want. And it also, you know, people talk about SMART goals at work: specific, measurable, attainable, time bound. But intentions are a little different. And when it comes to the heart, sometimes you just know when you know. Step 3 is subtract. This is where we identify what are all the things that are not serving you, your limiting beliefs, your fears, your old patterns, your conditioning, your parenting. What are you doing because you have been told you should, or it's just expected of you? You know, we really release all those things that are not serving you or that are not you at all. And that makes room for the next step, which is add. So we assess, plan, subtract, and then add. And add is where in my program, it's about several weeks in, and that's when the dating starts. So we do a lot of self-development and reflection work, as well as recognizing what we want before we even get out there and start using communication skills and online dating skills and how to connect with people and all of these different skills that are required to set the foundation for a long lasting, loving relationship. And that leads us to the final step of my program, which is love, loving yourself, exuding love, being love, feeling whole as your own single person, and then how to relate to your partner and how to overcome fears of commitment and make the spark last, and all of that. So how to find love: embody your truest self, be prepared to be in that relationship, feel it, what it's like in your future, be clear on what you're looking for, and then take action. Cast a wide net, identify when you find people that could match what you're looking for, have an abundance mentality, and continue to work on being the best version of yourself, no matter what. Thank you.